Xbox Game Pass has officially gone through one of the biggest shakeups in its history, and the reaction from the community has been far from positive. The centerpiece of this change is, of course, the price hike. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate now costs $29.99 a month. That is a 50% increase from the $19.99 price that most subscribers had gotten used to paying. For existing users, that new cost is going into effect starting November 4th, but for new subscribers, the higher price is already here. It's a steep jump, and it's the kind of change that makes you stop and ask the question, what are we really getting for all that extra money? Microsoft has also reshuffled the Game Pass tiers, something that complicates things further for people who were used to the simple setup we had before. There's now Game Pass Essential, which runs at $9.99 a month. That gets you access to around 50 titles with cloud support, a smaller trimmed down version of the service. The next level is Game Pass Premium, priced at $14.99 a month. Premium opens up the library to more than 200 games, includes PC titles, cloud gaming, and gives you access to rewards. Then, of course, there's the crown jewel, or maybe the sore spot, depending on how you see it. Game Pass Ultimate. That is the one sitting at $29.99 a month. Ultimate promises more than 400 games, day one releases, Ubisoft Plus classics, Fortnite crew membership, and the new reward system. On paper, that sounds like a lot of content, but the real question is whether the actual additions justify the biggest monthly increase Game Pass has ever had. When you look at the lineup of new games that Microsoft just added, it feels a little underwhelming. The titles announced include Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. We also have Hogwarts Legacy, which is obviously a newer edition, but not a day one title. Tom Clancy's The Division made its way into the catalog as well, along with Cities Skylines Remastered, Hades, Quake, and yes, Wheel of Fortune. Because nothing screams premium value like having a decades-old game show in your lineup. I'm sure that'll really get people rushing to subscribe. Now, there's no denying that some of these games are good, even great. Titles like Hades or Assassin's Creed 4 are fan favorites. But here's the thing, many of these games have either been available on other services before, or were already given out through Microsoft's old Games with Gold program. So for longtime Xbox players, these don't feel new at all. Instead of giving the community something that feels fresh or exclusive, it feels like Microsoft just recycled titles that people had already had the opportunity to play years ago. What's especially disappointing is that after all the talk and all the hype about the Activision Blizzard merger, none of those titles were included in this batch. No Call of Duty, no Diablo, no Overwatch, not even a single Crash Bandicoot or Spyro game. Nothing that would make this price increase feels like it comes with a huge leap in value. And then there's the reward system, which has also been completely overhauled. For years, one of the biggest benefits of being an Xbox player was Microsoft Rewards. By completing daily activities, searches, or challenges, you could stack up points and redeem them directly for Game Pass subscriptions. It was a straightforward system that made a lot of people feel like they were getting extra value. Starting today, that's gone. You can no longer directly redeem your rewards points for Game Pass. Instead, the system now forces you to redeem your points for Xbox gift cards and then use those gift cards to purchase a subscription. It's not only an extra set of steps, but it's also a sneaky way of raising the cost. The amount of points required to cover a month of Game Pass is effectively higher now. What used to feel like a rewarding player-friendly perk has turned into something that feels more like busy work, and at the end of the day, you're paying more. And here's where my frustration really sets in. Microsoft is asking for more money, but the value isn't keeping pace. A service that started out as a great deal, an easy recommendation for friends, something that felt like it was really pushing the industry forward, now feels like it's slipping backward. Instead of innovating or rewarding loyalty, it feels like the decisions are being made to squeeze more from players without giving back the kind of content that would actually justify the increase. And honestly, I can't help but point the finger at leadership here. I've disagreed with Phil Spencer's decisions multiple times in the past, and this feels like yet another case where the vision just isn't there. Microsoft has spent years building up goodwill with Game Pass, but decisions like this risk burning through it quickly. At some point, maybe the responsibility of these calls should go to someone else, because right now it doesn't feel like the direction is aligned with what players actually want. The lack of Activision Blizzard content right out of the gate is baffling. The price increase feels aggressive, the game lineup feels recycled, and the changes to the reward system turn something that used to be simple and appealing into a headache. It's disappointing because Game Pass was once the shining example of how subscription gaming could be done right. It made Xbox feel like it had something unique to offer, something no other platform could match. But with each new move like this, the service feels less like a revolution and more like just another overpriced subscription. For me personally, this isn't worth the extra cost. Until Microsoft shows a real commitment to delivering big new titles, until they make use of the Activision Blizzard catalog they spent so much money on, and until they find a way to respect the players who have been loyal to the service for years, it's really hard to justify the new price tag. It's not that there aren't good games here. It's that the majority of them don't feel new or exciting, and the ones that do aren't enough to offset the frustration of the changes. So here's where I land. I'm disappointed. This isn't what Game Pass was supposed to be, and it's not the kind of updates that make me excited for the future of the service. I hope Microsoft takes the backlash seriously, because right now, this feels like a step in the wrong direction. And for me, it's a decision that makes sure I won't be subscribing to Game Pass anytime soon.